You often hear that stress needs to be managed, that stress is damaging, it's very, very bad for you. But what if I told you that stress can actually be a positive in your life? Stick with us to the end of the video and I'll explain exactly what I mean.
Well, there is good stress, in fairness. I mean, stress can be like a form of excitement and joy, giddiness, you know.
You see, stress holds our body together. Because without stress, you wouldn't be able to stand up. Your muscles need a certain amount of stress, your ligaments, and for everything to move. Yes, you need a certain amount of stress.
Yeah.
And the first thing that stress does is it boosts your brain power.
Wow.
Because when you're under pressure, under stress, you access all of your resources to get yourself through that stress. So it's like a workout for your brain.
Do you know the funny thing I actually realised the other day? Me and my husband have completely different ideas about when your body starts to shake and tremble.
Yeah.
He feels it's anger, rage coming up on him, and he's ready to fight. And I feel it's fear and I'm ready to run away. Isn't that hilarious?
Well, it's part of the same. It's
like
although you're calling it two different
thing.
things, it's part of the same, fight or flight.
Fight, flight, freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the adrenaline is coursing through your body.
Yeah.
The same things happen with stress.
Yeah.
Good stress and bad stress.
And you see, it depends in your past how you've reacted to that shaking or that tremors in your body before. How have you reacted?
Yeah.
So if he's the kind of fella that kind of, I'm just going to go and hit something, that's his modus operandi. That's how he's going to help himself get through it. Whereas yours is to freeze. That's a strategy as well.
Or run away.
Yeah, run away. But the more you encounter stress, the more resilient you become to it. And I often say this to people, that there is no stress that's ever gotten the better of you yet. You've been through little bits of stresses, bigger stresses. And sometimes I say this to people who are, smoking or drinking to try to cope or manage their stress. I say, no matter how much you smoked or drank during that, it didn't actually help the experience.
Yeah.
Stress is like bad weather that comes in, it sweeps in over stuff. And it will eventually go, it will eventually lift and go. So what you do while you're under stress has no bearing necessarily on moving the stress on. You kind of just go, I just need to be resilient. I need to wait this out and I will get through it because I've got through it before.
Yeah. Like, I love the good stress part. I mean, that's something that really helps me and motivate. Like, when I'm in work, I need a lot of tasks.
And we try to put you under as much stress as possible when you're here.
Like, Paul knows what I'm like. I'm just,
believe me.
I work really well under some pressure, but then sometimes what happens to me after like a few months, I start to get really overwhelmed and then I just lock down completely.
Yeah.
It's like when I get too much then. But the good stress, I get so much done and I
It's
feel really accomplished. Yeah.
And
I feel so motivated, so positive, really good.
And I need deadlines.
Me too. I love a deadline.
I remember I was writing a book. And I said, I'm writing a book. Have you got a publisher?
Is that the one on dreams?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
And have you got a publisher? And I said, no. And I said, well, you should talk to this guy and get a meeting with him. And then he kind of goes, okay, can you be ready by October? I think it give me 3 months. And I go, yes. Ooh. Now, I've been writing this book for years.
Jeez.
But when he said you have 3 months to finish it, I go, right. And suddenly it's all adrenaline, all in, and I'm up till 2 o'clock in the morning typing. Right. And it's a motivator. It gets me to do it. Whereas if it was open-ended, I'd still be writing the book. Yeah,
I love writing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But that was great to get a deadline because otherwise you dilly-dally around the thing forever. And I'm the same with different projects. I just finished one project actually, and I was under pressure like for the last month and a half for it, and I'm like, Jesus, now it's finally done. But it's like everything just went collapse after it. It's a bit mad, isn't it?
It is. And one of the things we were talking about off camera is I'm currently coaching with Siobhan's husband, Ger. And it's great for me because I'm a coach myself. But sometimes I need to get out of my headspace or kind of get out of my loop of thinking. And no matter how, sophisticated or otherwise your thinking might be, not that I'm a sophisticated thinker, but sometimes you can get caught up in a loop of thinking and not realize that you're in it.
Yeah.
Whereas you're working with a coach, you say things and then you kind of go, okay, how do I get beyond that? What do I need to do this week? And you're going to sit down with the coach next week And it's like turning up at school without your homework done.
Oh my God,
And you
yeah.
can come up with any amount of excuses to dog get my homework. I lost my copies, or... But you're going to turn up. If you do that with a coach, you'll find it's not the coach is going to give out to you, but you find you'll be giving out to yourself. And I've kind of said, well, look, don't commit to something you're not going to do.
Yeah.
So when I commit to the things working with Ger, I'm going to turn up the next week with them mostly done. If there's an excuse, it's an excuse. And I would differentiate between excuses and reasons. Reasons are actual factual reasons as to why you couldn't get the thing done, but you're still committed and you're going to do it. Excuses are just where you kind of tell yourself stuff that lets you off the hook.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think as well you're in a really creative brain mode then. Do you know,
you are.
When you're stressed.
You're stimulated. You're thinking about solutions rather than problems, you know.
Yeah. And it's a great way to kind of change your life. I think it's a great time to change your life and do something. So what you are working with currently
it's a catalyst for change, because you
it
realize
requires you to change.
that some of the things that you start working with, you kind of. These things have been in my mind for years, or the recurring themes. You can go, how will I feel like I'm sitting here in 6 years' time and I'm still talking to somebody about these things?
And they're still going on.
So you can I'll just get them done and get them now, and it's a catalyst for change. And even like when I'm advocating the benefits of being stressed, you do sometimes need to go, hold on a minute, I do need to take my foot off the accelerator and just step away and have downtime.
Yeah.
So you can recognize that within yourself, because stress is actually good for the immune system. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it's good for the immune system.
Really?
Now, I'm not talking about prolonged, serious stress, but it's good. It stimulates everything in the body, because you get the blood flow, you get the adrenaline, and it's good for the immune system.
Well, I think it's good then as long as you move. You know, I think if you stay sitting and you're stressed and you're like revved
frozen,
just like that's not good. You've
Rabbit
got to
in the
move your
headlights.
body's not good. Paul in the headlights.
But as well as that too, it does orientate your mind towards problem solving. Where you kind of, especially when you sit down with a coach, because you're there not because you kind of want to talk about your problems and he's going to put his arm around you and go, poor you, it's fine, it's going to be okay. No, you're there because
you're doing that.
You're there. You don't know what goes on.
Not for you. Do that for me.
You're there because you have something you want to work through, and you are orientated towards, I need a strategy to get me to the solution. So you're already problem solving.
Yes, definitely.
And you're putting yourself under pressure to get that resolved.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and in that whole piece then you can trick your brain as well. I mean, I often trick myself, like, especially around anxiety, we'll say, which is also like can be a good stress too. But in the past, one of my biggest fears was public speaking. So,
really?
Yeah, I was so terrified. Now you can't shut me up. You can't stop me now. But like before I go up on stage or in anything like that, I used to have to power pose in the bathroom. I'd be in there, I'd be going, I win, I succeed, I'm amazing. This all goes well. Yeah. Like just telling myself all this positive stuff. But then I'd say to myself, I start jumping up and down on the spot and be like, I'm excited. And I go out feeling excited, and one of the first things out of my mouth is I'm so excited to be here.
And isn't it interesting that you flip the anxiety, you stop calling it anxiety and now you're calling it excitement?
Yes, exactly.
And it's the same adrenaline.
It's the very same stuff, because your body produces the very same chemicals, the very same hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. Yeah. Get you all pumped up. It's the same thing if it's good or bad, it doesn't make any difference. It's the same butterfly feeling in your tummy.
And it gets you to, like, it stimulates your personal growth, but it gets you to be creative.
Yeah.
And because if you try the same tired old strategies, you'll get to the same destinations. You go down the same old roads that you've always gone down, you get to the same destinations never change. So it teaches you to think outside the box and be creative. And go, what else could I do that I haven't been doing? How else can I do? And the last thing I would say about this is that when you go through stress with a group of people, whether it's family or whether it's in work or significant other, it builds bonds too. You have this connection with people, this empathy with people as well. It's a social cohesion. So those are the reasons why stress can be very, very good for you. So you don't have to avoid stress.
Yeah, definitely. Just it's about managing it really, and managing your head, because the only difference really between good and bad stress in some cases, not in all, but in some cases, is your mind and the way you think about it. So like the public speaking thing, for example, that can be a good thing if you just switch the way you think about it. But obviously, you know, if you're feeling like really burnt out or overwhelmed, or you've got a lot of worries, or, you know, people annoying you or different things happening like that, you have to talk to a professional as well, and make sure you mind yourself and take care of yourself at all times as well, because prolonged stress does cause a lot of heart trouble. And
it can do, and you can convert mental stress to, you can disperse it or dispense it through physical activity.
Yeah, definitely.
As well.
Just move the body.
Yeah,
Get going.
activity. Yeah, we've got to move our bodies out of here. We are the Happy Headers. Like us, subscribe to us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.